Okay, it's about 3:30, so we're going to get started here. I wanted to say aloha and welcome to I Teach 808, Empowering Hawaii's Teachers in Technology Conference, sponsored by the Augustine Educational Foundation and Sacred Hearts Academy, Honolulu. My name is Patrick, and I'll be facilitating this session. We're so honored to have Stanislava join us today and share her expertise through a 45-minute presentation named, and it's a long one, Canva for Teachers, setting up a course in a free learning management system. So please be aware that we will be recording this session. If you don't like being recorded, you may consider turning off your camera during the session or reviewing the recording afterwards. The recording will be made available on YouTube and shared on I Teach 808's website a week after the event. So without further ado, I'll turn it over to Stanislava.
Hi, and welcome to this. It's not a presentation, it's going to be more of a tutorial. So if you care to really learn how to do it, I would definitely recommend you clicking through it. And the way you do it, you have to register and log in. So I'm going to share in the chat where you can log into the Canvas. And I'm going to start first with introducing the software. So it is a learning management system that is free. It's cloud-based. There is a paid version, of course, which gives you extra functionalities. And usually institutions, the whole institutions would subscribe to the paid version and then set it up for the teachers. So they have already set up some basic information in there. And then based on that, they will fill in other fields. So a little bit about the background of this company that is having this Canvas software as well as other software solutions. It's called Instructure, and what is cool is that it started in 2008 by two grad students. So this is their timeline of the development, and in 2020 it was sold for $2 billion. So this venture paid off to these grad students, and now it's owned by Thoma Bravo, which is a huge company, and they continued to develop the software. As you can see from their website, this learning management system can be used both for K-12 as well as higher education institutions. And I am a teacher at a higher education institution, and I'm a student there. So I came from Serbia, and now I'm a PhD student in Communication Information Sciences program. And also I teach at Library Information Sciences program. I teach 4 different courses, and each one is technology related. And one of my courses is asynchronous, meaning that students can come into it and then do their work anytime during the week. So when I first started creating this course, UH Manoa's learning management system is Laulima, and those who have used this software, they know it's not very super user-friendly. Students don't like it. Teachers usually like it because they know it, but it's not great. So I asked my fellow student who is also teaching course about her experiences, and she introduced Canvas. She showed it to me like I'm going to show it to you, and I was completely sold on it. I use it ever since for all of my courses. I imported all of my courses there. So let's go into the software, and I'm gonna show you first how it looks like. So once you log in, this is my account that is full now, but I'm going to show you step by step what you need to do to set up your account and to set up a course. That is the name of tutorial. So basically, first you want to make your account, and as part of your account, of course, there is a profile, and there you want to put your nice picture like I did. My picture is from 6 years ago. I don't look anything like that. You want to put a biography and some links, and the just so I check before I continue, you can hear well and see my screen well. Is that good? Okay, cool. So everywhere you go around this website, wherever you see a little pencil, it's the edit button. So you can click on the edit and edit it accordingly. So I talked about my name. I'm going to update my name. So it's easier for people to read it. You can set up your title, pronouns, bio, and some other links, and then save your profile. And I always, when I open the course, I always tell my students, please make your profile, because we have a lot of discussions. So you want to make it as personable as you can, because being in an online environment, it can get a very impersonal very shortly. But if you have somebody's face, or at least a picture, any picture that it means something to them, it makes it a little bit better. Then the next thing you definitely want to set up, and that I always tell the students to do first, is to set up their notifications, because based on these notification setups, you're gonna get notified what's going on. You want to be notified immediately if you have a first direct message, but I usually have a daily summary for submissions and weekly summary for everything else. So if something changes, they will get notified. If I publish a new page, they will get notified, and so on. So these are the options: notify immediately, daily, weekly, and notifications off, which you don't want to have. So next thing is files, where you have all your files, but that is not too interesting because it's just the storage for all the files you're going to use. Settings is a much better link that we want to visit. So again, here you can go to edit settings and edit your basic profile metadata. And first thing you want to put there is the time zone, because all of your due dates need to be consolidated in the time zone that we are using here, and Hawaii is first. So fortunately, we don't have to go through all this list. Also, you can set up language, and it's really cool that there are different languages. For example, Croatian, which I can't speak. Also, you have an option to integrate some web services in there. I'm using Google Drive because I have a lot of material in Google Drive for my students. So there is a link directly that leads directly to Google Drive. But you can use other services, and I can assume that in the paid version you will have more of those. And then there are some other feature options where you can have the closed captions and other settings that could be more or less interesting, like underline links, so general feel and look of your web page, because this is in the end content management system and you are creating one. So just to stop real quickly, because we have a very small public, Christine, if you have any questions while I talk, feel free to ask. I'm open to answering at any time. So there is another few links that lead us to e-portfolios or share content or QR for mobile login and global announcements. I'm not going to go through these because I don't have too much to say on these. But the global announcement is basically if you want to make an announcement that's going to cover all of your courses. If you're a director of a school, so you want to say something to all of your students, you go there. But I wouldn't abuse it too much. People get so many notifications as it is. So from this settings page, you can also download all of the submissions or course content. And I think it's really important to have a backup because this is a cloud-based solution. sometimes in the future it may stop running. So we want to have a backup on our own computer. So I would definitely suggest once you have everything set up to download it and save it somewhere safe. So that was the account. And we're going to go through the next of the links and follow the order. The next link is the dashboard. So this is my home page. And whenever I log in to my Canvas account, I get to my dashboard and I get to this course that I'm currently teaching. And this is the course that I taught in the last semester. So from there you can manage them a little bit, but also what is important, it shows here on the right side of the screen what you need to do. So it's a reminder for teachers to grade stuff and what's coming up for us to do. If we go to courses link, it's going to show the published courses that are active right now, but you can go to all courses there. And here you can see all the courses that I taught. So from there, if you put a star, it's going to show in your dashboard. So I'm going to unstar this course because I'm not teaching it anymore. And let's see if it shows. Yeah, so now it's not there anymore and I don't have to see it. Let's go back to all courses. From this, you can go and browse more courses. And this is beauty of this this learning management system is that it's open and it allows you to share your content as well as to reuse content from others. So we're going to look at that a little bit later on in comments, but these are some categories that you might want to think about reusing that people already did. So you can search from there. This course here, for example, is the one that my fellow colleague showed me. And she said, okay, I'm going to give you my course so you can look at it and use it as a model when you create your own course. So that was very useful as it allows you to download, export, import other courses. So I looked at her course and then made my pages and content accordingly. From here, you can create a new course, but I'm going to come back to this a little bit later. The next link is the calendar. So this is the calendar view that shows what's going on and what is crossed is already finished. So you need to, it's showing me what I need still to go to and grade. And this is now my next steps. And students can see this calendar too. There is an inbox where is all of your correspondence. I can show this, but in this correspondence, you can go back to the threads. One feature that is maybe not so great here is that it lacks this direct instant messaging feature. It's more of like a threads and the email like correspondence than something that you may be used with social networks, but it's working, it's okay. History is showing you what the pages you have visited before, and then this is the commons part where you can go and search through everything that people have shared with others. We can try and search for Hawaii and then see what we get here. So see, there is a course, and I believe this one is on learning Hawaiian language. So you can just take the course or enroll it if it has an open enrollment, if you want to learn right there in the platform. And of course, there is a help button where you have some links for the help topics, but also on this right side, there is a help button that is Canvas support that in my opinion is very misfortunately placed because it interferes with the other content, but you can move it up and down, which is good. So this is a little intro on the whole thing, how you can go through the system, but let's get into the actual courses, and as this is what this tutorial is about. So I'm going to show you how to make the course, and let's go to all courses. So I'm going to switch between a new course that I'm going to create and the one that I already have set up. So I show you in examples how it can look. So the first thing you want to do is, of course, click on course and want to create it. So I want to do the manually created course. I don't know what Nora is. And the course name, we're going to type it there. It's going to be test course. So I'm creating it now. Before you go into the course, it's going to ask you to do some layout. So you can choose a nice image for it. And this is very intuitive. You can just, pull and drop your image, and there you go. You have a nice image there for your thumbnail. You can also give it a code. Of course, definitely set up the time zone. You want to do that. Otherwise, your students are going to get too confused with the due date times. And you can make it term or course. If you click on the course, you're going to have a start and end date. So we're going to set up some start and end date here, and there you can do click and say restrict students from viewing course before or after the end date. So I think I click both of these. I'm not sure because my courses are reoccurring, so I don't want them exporting the content and giving it to new students. So the language, again, you can set it up. And then, which is what is cool feature and definitely necessary, you can say what is the license of your course. I always choose CC non-commercial, that you can use it and reuse it freely, but you can't earn money from it. And then you can set a format. It can be fully online. It can be blended. Some of my courses are fully online, some others are blended. And give a description. There is a link with more options in there. So you can let the students self-enroll by sharing them a secret URL code. And I'll let you know later on how you deal with people. Maybe that's going to be my next link. Otherwise, you can just send them URL and they can self-enroll. You don't have to invite one by one, which is how I do it. You can add join this course link to the course homepage if you want to make it open for public and not just for the students in your institution. I started using this to show the recent announcements in the homepage. I'm going to show you how this looks like. So this is my homepage, and it's going to show the last announcements I had for my students up there. And you can always click on the student view from your view, and then you will see that this particular student didn't read this announcement, so it's going to mark it with a blue dot, and this is the rest of the home page. And other settings, such as you can allow them to attach files, they can create their own discussion topics, posts, they can only edit and delete their own posts, and so on. Only teachers can create, rename, and edit course pages by default. If you want to make something that we talked a little bit earlier, if we want to make so everybody who is involved can do and edit pages, that you can change that and just to anyone, so you wouldn't have teachers and students as roles necessarily. You would just have a group who is working on some content. So every time you change something, you want to update the course details. But before that, other options are, I'm going to update it real quickly just to save it. Other options there are to share it to Commons. So if you want to be in this Commons area, which is very noble of you if you do that, you can see some course statistics. You can see your course calendar, and there are several ways you can see your course calendar. It's here, it's here, it's everywhere. You can close it, delete it, copy it, import, export. So these are the two really, really important features. Reset the content and validate the links. Oh, I didn't see that one. This is very useful. So you don't, if you do your course again, sometimes your links are gonna be broken after a year or two. So you want to validate the links. I'm definitely gonna do that on my course later now that I know it's there. You can see how many students and participants you have and so on, some stats there. So this is the first and the details, and there is another section, another link that is on sections. So in this part, you can basically make sections and put students in there who, for example, want an extension and need an extension. So you have a different due dates for them. Then you can sort out your navigation, and this is your navigation bar. And you're, as a teacher, you're gonna have all, but you don't want your students to see all. So if you see the crossed eye, that's not gonna be visible to students, but this big blue button it is. So I don't know what it is. I'm gonna disable it. It's gonna move it down. Collaboration, let's say I'm gonna disable and new analytics. So yeah, so now I can save this. Oh, I have to leave the student view to do this. Okay, let's go back. We were at settings, right? And navigation. Again, sorry about it. Big blue, collaborations, new analytics. I'm gonna save, and then my students won't see this in their navigation bar. You can install some external apps. I don't use this functionality, but I think that if your institution has the paid version and is subscribed, then you would probably use some of this depending on what you decide is useful for the institution. There are some featured options. There are something like very, very specific settings and integrations that we don't have anything here. So I would assume these three are more for the commercial paid version. So now that we set up our course the way we like it, we can actually go home and start making some content there. So let's first go and add people to it. For now, this is me. I'm a teacher. And I want to add people. Usually you would do that by adding their email. So this is my private mail. I'm gonna be a student. And you can click that this student can interact with users in their section only. So once you send this, you can add a name for this student, and okay, I'm already there. Okay, I'm gonna add a different one. This is my Hawaii Edu email, and if you have any questions about this or anything else, you feel free to write on this name email gardasev@hawaii.edu. So there I am. I'm gonna add this user, and it's gonna be pending in my. It's gonna show pending before I accept to go in. And it usually takes some time. It's not instantaneous that you're gonna get the invite, so don't worry about it. But once you have your students enrolled, you can make groups here. For group assignments, you go into people and then make groups. you set up a group 1 and then split students into their settings for the groups, and you can give a leader or say how many people, or manually assign people to a certain group. So this is the people page. Otherwise, you can share the link so they can just click in and go in. So let's go and create some content. Usually what you want to do is to make, first you make pages, and it says no pages created yet, add one. So you can add it here or go here. And we're gonna create a home page that is gonna be just like a test page. And here you have a rich content editor, which is something that you're probably used to. There's everywhere, any text editing system. All of the functionalities are pretty much common across. You can insert tables and media and equations and embed YouTube videos or other stuff, which is cool. You can go and do the HTML in case you need it, and sometimes you will. You can go and see it in a full screen if you need a big thing. You have a word counter in there. And one feature that I learned when I was preparing this tutorial, and that it's really cool, and I'm going to use it in the future, is that you can record your own media. So let's say that you don't want to type your comments to your students and you have a lot to say. You can just record whatever you need to say to them, or you can do your intro. It should show my picture, but maybe Zoom is interfering. And then you save it there, and it's going to show. It's pretty neat as an intro. You can show your welcome that you can do right there in the software. So I'm gonna save and publish. So don't forget to publish your content, whatever you want to be published. Once you finish it, you want to publish. You don't want to publish it. You can work on offline as long as it's not done. So in the little burger icon, you can see the changes history, and then you can send it or copy it or share the page to comments. So this software makes it really easy to share your content, which is pretty neat. So you can view all pages, and then there you can see one. And from there you can, okay, I think I need to publish it first. I want to make this my home page. See, so now it shows when it's published, you can use it as a front page, and it gets a tag that is front page. So I'm going to create another page just so we have a couple of pages, and save and publish it. So now we have 2 pages, and we created a little content in this software. Next thing you want to do, and I really use a lot, is create your modules. So modules are the ways how you organize the material in your course. So I'm going to leave the student view. Okay. So this is how my course modules page look like. And usually they look like that. So you have something like class or week or module 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and each of it has a certain title, a certain page. Then I'm going to show you this one because the first one is just intro. So page, I have a quiz after each page, then another page with the content, then another quiz, and then 2 assignments. In this case, these assignments are discussions. So a little bit on pages, back to the pages, I can show you how my page looks like. And this is, the recommendation is less text, just keep it short with text, bullet points clear. I do, this is a grad level course, I can allow myself to write a little bit, but I would put some readings, definitely some media, some pictures in there. And what I found very useful for students to engage in the fully online asynchronous course is to give them space for discussion in the middle of that content page. So I always have some comment for them to go and reflect on what they just read. And I found it useful for me also to understand their thought process and their how they interact with this material. Then I have another reading and then another comment, and the prompts in this module will just take you to the next thing. So the next thing would be a quiz, and you would do a quiz, and I can show you how the quiz looks like. It gives you some prompts, and then you can pick the correct answer, and then it's gonna go take you to the next. And this is all. You can submit quiz, and that's that. And it's gonna take you to your next page again. The quiz can prompt you. You can set up the quiz. I'm gonna show you that in a minute. But it's really recommended that you put a lot of media in there and audiovisual material. So I usually have, if I don't have pictures, I definitely have videos. And here I have 2 lectures, 2 videos, and 1 reading and another discussion. So this is how my page looks like. It's long, a lot of text, a lot of material in 1 page. Some people will make 10 short pages. Each one has just a list with 5 bullet points. If you want, we know that maybe today students have a shorter attention span, so you want to cut it shorter. It might be a good idea. So this is how you make modules. I showed you my module, and you can say this is a class 1 module. You add it, and then here from it, this is where you publish it or not. You can add your pages. So here are the 2 pages that I created. I'm gonna add this and this both. And now I have some content in my module. Right there from it, you can add other stuff. So here, I'm gonna show you how to make a quiz now. And because I don't have a quizzes that I set up before, I can create now just 1 quiz, and it could be, it's set in the group assignments, and I'm gonna say indented 1 level. So I added it here, and if I go to quiz, I want to edit it here. So in the details, you get another rich text editor where you put your prompt, and these are some settings. So it can be graded or practice or survey. You can shuffle answers. You can give them time limit, which is cool. And I used to do that, but then my students freaked out, so I stopped doing that. You can let them see their responses that are incorrect. They can see them only once after each attempt, or you can show them the correct answers at some time if you don't want them sharing it between themselves. Or you can pick to show 1 question at a time. I pick that. And lock questions after answering, so you can go back. Require access code assigned to everybody. And this is the most important part. When is it due? So once you set up what is the due date, you can also set it up when it's available from and to. And then you go back to your questions. So here you can create a new question that can have some prompt. What is the question? And it could be multiple choice, true, false, fill in the blank, multiple blanks, multiple answers, and so on and so on. It gives a real wide variety of options that to do with quizzes, which is a really cool feature. I like that. So I use the quizzes a lot because I don't know, with people who I don't interact, if they learned from the material that I gave them in the pages. So I usually tell them read the page and then do the quiz immediately. They're easy quiz. Anyway, this is how you want to save and publish it, and or add a new question and so on. So then now we can see in our modules that the quiz is there and it's published. Next thing you want to look at, oh, I failed to show you the first thing that you should have done, but probably because I didn't set it up well. So going back to the settings and the navigation bar, it's really useful to reorder it in a way that you want people to think. So I believe that syllabus, you can just pull it up, is really important in the beginning, and then modules, and then we can do the announcements, discussions, and assignments and other stuff. So I'm gonna save this, and this is gonna reflect my menu here. So going back to the syllabus, which is probably the first thing you should do when you set up a course, you're gonna edit it. Some people would suggest that you paste, I got the time check, just so you know, that you paste the whole syllabus here. I don't do that. If you go to my syllabus, I link to my syllabus that is in Google Drive and other stuff. But the cool thing is that in your syllabus, it's going to reflect all of the due dates for their assignments. So another cool feature in this software is that students, there is no way that students will tell, oh, I missed the due date because I didn't know about it. There are so many ways. You can see it in syllabus, you can see it in these multiple calendars. It's all over. It's going to prompt you all over that you have to do something to go through the course. So in the syllabus, you want to put your syllabus in there or link it and then update it. So there are some other things that you can do. I really enjoy having discussions, as I showed you. So you can create a discussion there, and let's say Q&A, no? Q&A discussion, and then post it to all sections or whatever sections you create. You can allow threaded replies, which is really good. I always check users must post before seeing replies, because my discussions, some of them are, some of the discussions are graded. So I don't want them to get an idea from other students. I want them to have fresh idea, then come back and comment on another student's post. And then you can say if it's graded and how much is it, how much do you grade it. You can grade it as points or letter grade and so on. There is an option to do the peer review, and also, of course, due date you want to have, and then save and publish your new discussion. So the same thing goes with assignments. It's pretty similar to, I mean, from whatever is graded is going to be an assignment, but you can also group the assignments by quizzes and then pull this one here. Okay. Oh. There it is. Or you can create a new assignment. So sometimes you want them to submit a paper, and then this is the prompt. You're gonna give the grades. You can also here see if it's online submission, if it's gonna be a text entry where they just type something. It could be a website URL. Sometimes I use this because I have them to do something on a different platform. Or file uploads, where you can restrict if you want just PDF or Word or whatever. Allow the tense. You can create this as a group assignment. and of course due date and all of that. So this is how you do the assignment. I'm going to save and publish this one. So now we have created everything that you could create. Another very important thing for teachers is, of course, grading. And grading is good because you have several ways to do them. So this is how it looks, the grade. I don't know why my head is floating. This is how it would look. I would show you how it looks on my, but I can't show my students. It's not ethical, but you will have a student name, and then for each of their submissions, you can directly click and give a grade there. Or if you go and go back to this course, you can go to any assignment. There is this link that is called Speed Grader, and it is Speed Grader. For each of the students, you're gonna see their submission here. You can type them a comment, you can record them a comment, and then grade them right there. So this is how you grade your students, and the grades can be weighted. So when you create groups of assignments, you can assign a different weight for different groups. For, let's say, discussions are gonna be weighted 20% of the total grade, and quizzes are gonna carry 10, and papers, I don't know, 50. So you can do that this way too, or you can hide the grades from students, and then you can set up some shortcut options and so on. So then this is how you move between, and then you, of course, you get, which is also cool, you get an average grade for that submission. So in short, we have 3 minutes left, and I'm gonna wrap up real quickly. This is your Canvas learning management system. And what I wanted to show you is, in case you don't like me, how I talk and what I show you, there is a great resource on the YouTube
So let's say you have to read an incredible.
Who has a lot of tutorials. Her name is Ashley Espinosa, and she has the bite-size tutorial for each of these things that I talked, probably in the more detail, but also she has a full tutorial. This is, and it's pretty good. So I would suggest that you check there as a YouTube resource if you decide to take this software for your learning management system. And I would warmly recommend it because both me and my students have good experiences with it. So thank you so much for listening to me. And it wasn't a huge crowd, but maybe it's gonna reach other people when it's published on YouTube. But yeah, this is all that I had to share with you today. And please let me know if you have any questions for me.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. I just have a final comment, which is to say, first of all, thank you very much to Stanislava and for the group's participation here, whether you see it today or the recording later. We hope that you will find this session helpful and that you've made some valuable connections. Please help us to complete a survey on the iTeach 808 website. I have included the link in the chat. When you get to the page, it should be the fourth link down on the left side. The survey will also be sent to the email address that you're registered with. Please make sure that you check the spam folder for any emails from iteach808hawaii@gmail.com if you don't see the link to the survey otherwise. You will be entered to win one of $25 Target gift cards if you complete the survey by February 4th. So again, thank you very much for being here today. Please feel free to join in on the other sessions in the final session, and we hope that you have a wonderful day.
Thank you.